So for this video, we are going to be using ggplot to visualize the relationship between the fare and the class, as well as the sex of the passenger. So here's one way to proceed. So we need to do library tidyverse, and I have the Titanic loaded. So I'll do ggplot, and I'm visualizing Titanic. So I'll say data equals Titanic. Sometimes I neglect to say data equals. That's the same as saying ggplot Titanic. And here I'll say that the mapping is going to be, so I'll put the class on the x-axis, and I'll put the fare on the y-axis. And now I'll do geom_smooth. And in geom_smooth, I'll also have a mapping. I could have set it here as well. So anytime you have just one layer, so here you have just one layer, you can just put the mapping here, but it doesn't hurt to do mapping here. So here I'll say that the color is the sex is gonna be mapped to the color. And I'll specify method equals close. So this is what I get. So what happened here? So because I specified that access B class got mapped here. So here, by the way, if class were categorical, R would not be happy about that, because you can't really have like a curve where on the x-axis you have categories, because the order of the categories is arbitrary. So it was important that class happened to be numerical here so that this works. And here we had fare on the y-axis, and what we did is we said the color is going to be sex. So if you specify the color for smoother, what happens is that you have two curves. So one for male in this case, and one for female. So that's all that's going on here. So did we see anything? So actually you see that the fare for female, it appears to be much higher than the fare for male. So part of what's going on is, if you go back to the data set, you'll see that actually the fares are on a per family basis. So because a lot of women were traveling with their family, you see a higher fare, and then there are like males that were traveling alone, so their fare was lower for that reason. It's interesting to see that there is a discrepancy in first class, but not actually in second class and third class. So one thing to note here is that this 1.5, this 2.5 is not really nice, because there is no class 1.5, there is no class 2.5. But because, as we saw, class could actually be, so it's an ordinal variable in the sense that kind of there is an ordering of first, second, third, so you could argue that it's a numerical variable. So we displayed it like that.